because she doesn't live inside the binary of what we think a woman should be.
Dogs are better than people because
they don't talk.
Look, everyone saw the headlines when James Gunn's Superman became a huge box office success. It was a major global hit, audiences responded well, and for a moment it really looked like DC had finally found the right formula to get people excited about superheroes again. The momentum felt real, and expectations for what came next shot way up. But now things have taken a surprising turn. The very next movie, Supergirl, is reportedly off to a rough start at the box office. Early reports have it opening with around $37 to $38 million domestically. If those numbers hold, that would put it behind films like The Marvels, Morbius, and even Joker 2.
Discussion online about Kara's queerness in the comics, was that?
That's a shocking result considering all the excitement that followed Superman. Behind the scenes at Warner Brothers, reports suggest there's been a lot of pressure and frustration as the early box office numbers come in. There has also been plenty of online speculation about how lead actress Milly Alcock and members of the creative team are reacting, but much of that remains unconfirmed. With a reported budget of around $170 million, the movie was expected to soar, yet its opening has sparked serious questions instead. The studio is already pointing to superhero fatigue as one possible reason for the slow start.
What is it like actually writing both Supergirl and working on Wonder Woman?
I try to approach every character that I write from a place of what feels the most true to me about them.
But many critics and fans argue that's only part of the story. From their perspective, the bigger issues came from creative decisions that didn't connect with audiences and a marketing campaign that failed to get the core fan base excited.
What made you want to step into this world of DC heroes? I needed a job.
Those factors, they believe, played a much bigger role in the movie's disappointing launch. Let's break down the numbers. Supergirl opened with about $38 million at the domestic box office. With a reported production budget of around $170 million and estimates of roughly $120 million spent on marketing, many industry analysts believe the movie would need to earn somewhere around $350 million worldwide to reach the break-even point, though the exact figure depends on the studio's financial arrangements. Current projections suggest the film could finish its global run at around $200 million if the trend continues, which would make it a disappointing financial result. Box office forecasts also slipped lower in the weeks leading up to release, hinting at softer audience interest early on. While some media reports point to mixed reviews as a key factor, others have focused on the movie's B cinema score, arguing that general audience reactions may have had an even bigger impact on its momentum. A cinema score in that range can be a warning sign because it may point to a more divided audience response. When moviegoers leave less enthusiastic than expected, word of mouth can slow ticket sales after opening weekend, making it much harder for a film to build momentum.
See, I don't really know, but should probably go both ways.
Many fans argued that happened here, and they believe the movie struggled to recover once those early reactions started spreading. The promotional campaign also became a major topic of debate. Some viewers felt the marketing didn't spend enough time highlighting the exciting story and cosmic adventure from the Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow comic. Instead, parts of Milly Alcock's interviews drew significant online attention after she discussed themes such as Kara Zor-El being viewed by some fans as a queer icon and shared her own interpretation of the character. Those comments sparked debate online, with supporters and critics reacting in very different ways. The discussion didn't stop there. In another interview, Milly Alcock said that Supergirl doesn't fit neatly into traditional expectations of what a woman should be. While some people interpreted those remarks as describing Kara as a tough, independent alien shaped by extraordinary experiences, others understood them very differently. Before long, clips and quotes were spreading all over social media. A large part of the fan community came away believing the interviews placed too much attention on cultural and political debates instead of focusing on delivering a faithful and exciting adaptation of the comic.
Honestly, I'm kind of honored. I'm honored that that's happening, but I think because she doesn't live inside the binary of what we think a woman should be, that is what makes her so special and so exciting and so new. And yeah, I kind of thought that as well. I was like, she'd do what she'd want to do.
Whether that perception was fair or not, it became a major talking point online and added even more controversy to the movie's promotional campaign. Trying to reach new audiences is a completely reasonable goal, but many fans believe it's risky if longtime comic readers feel overlooked, especially since they're often the first people buying opening weekend. Tickets, As clips from the cast interviews spread across social media, debates grew louder, and some casual moviegoers said the online controversy made them less interested in seeing the film. Instead of bringing every part of the DC fanbase together, the promotional campaign became a source of ongoing arguments. Some viewers felt the focus shifted away from the movie itself and toward interview soundbites. One quote from Milly Alcock received particular attention when she praised the film by saying that one of its strengths was that it wasn't centered on a man or built around a romantic storyline. That comment quickly sparked mixed reactions online, with supporters and critics offering very different interpretations. Many critics and fans believe Warner Brothers misjudged what would connect most with general audiences during the marketing campaign. From that perspective, the messaging didn't always highlight the elements that typically draw people to big superhero movies in the first place. For many moviegoers, the biggest appeal is exciting action, memorable heroes, high-stakes adventure, and a chance to escape into a fun world for a couple of hours.
I don't know. I think that what makes this film so beautiful is that it's not centered around a man. It's not centered around love at all.
Some commentators argued that the marketing spent too much time talking about what the movie wasn't, rather than clearly showing what made its story unique and worth seeing. In their view, the campaign missed an opportunity to sell audiences on the film's characters, emotional journey, and thrilling moments, leaving many potential ticket buyers unsure of what to expect. Many commentators believe that approach ended up hurting the movie instead of helping it. Looking at the trailers, interview clips, and press appearances, some viewers came away with the impression that the promotional campaign was putting too much emphasis on broader social themes rather than showcasing an exciting sci-fi adventure. Whether that impression matched the filmmaker's intentions or not, it became a frequent topic of discussion online. For casual moviegoers who were simply looking for an entertaining night at the theater, that perception may have made the film less appealing. Some box office analysts argued that the marketing struggled to connect with those audiences, reducing enthusiasm and making it much harder for the movie to reach the level of commercial success the studio had hoped for. It's great. I don't know. She'd probably go both ways.
Have you heard from the fans, specifically from the LGBT community, about how they've been able to relate to your character?
I've just had a few people ask me about her because it's Pride Month and all that, and I think that she's a really great representation of what a modern woman can be. She can be strong, she can be tough, she can be messy. I love how this film doesn't center around any sort of love, it doesn't center around romance or anything like that at all, and she has such resilience.
Another major point of debate involved the movie's early promotional strategy. Before Supergirl reached theaters, Warner Brothers reportedly placed limits on when many traditional film critics could publish full reviews. At the same time, the studio invited numerous social media creators, fan channels, and online personalities to early screenings. Some observers argued this approach was designed to build strong early excitement through positive first reactions before wider reviews became available. Critics of that strategy also questioned how much weight those early social media reactions should carry. They argued that creators who receive invitations to premieres, exclusive events, promotional merchandise, or opportunities to interview stars like Milly Alcock and James Gunn may naturally feel pressure to maintain good relationships with studios. That doesn't mean their opinions are dishonest, but some viewers believe those incentives can create the appearance of a conflict of interest. As a result, many moviegoers chose to wait for broader audience reactions and reviews before deciding whether to buy a ticket. Some critics argue that creators with ongoing relationships with major studios may feel pressure to stay on good terms so they can continue receiving invitations to future premieres, interviews, and special events. Because of that, some viewers question whether certain early reactions are overly enthusiastic. At the same time, it's important to remember that receiving early access doesn't automatically mean a review isn't genuine, and many creators do share their honest opinions. For Warner Brothers, the bigger challenge may have been audience trust. Many moviegoers have become increasingly skeptical of extremely positive first reactions posted before a film's wide release. Once Supergirl opened and broader audiences were able to judge it for themselves, some viewers felt the movie didn't fully match the expectations created by the early buzz.
It's really not about the love story at all. The guy who literally stalks her.
Whether that perception was accurate or not, it became part of the online conversation and may have affected word of mouth during opening weekend. If you looked across social media just before release, another interesting pattern stood out. Many early reactions used very similar comparisons, describing the movie as Mad Max in space, or comparing Milly Alcock's performance to Furiosa. Those repeated descriptions caught the attention of fans online, with some wondering whether reviewers had simply reached similar conclusions. while others questioned why the same phrases appeared so often across different posts. When multiple creators use the same memorable phrase, it naturally gets people talking.
But in honor of Pride Month, as I'm getting all these questions, I don't know. I think that what makes this film so beautiful is that it's not centered around a man. It's not centered around love at all. I don't know.
It's great.
It should probably go both ways.
Some viewers see that as evidence that a studio's marketing message was especially effective, while others wonder whether common promotional materials or press notes influenced the language being used. There's no public evidence that reviewers were instructed to use any specific wording, but the repeated comparisons certainly caught attention online. Many fans felt the studio was eager to push a particular narrative around the film before release, and those familiar descriptions spread quickly across social media. Whether that happened through shared marketing materials, similar first impressions, or simple coincidence, the repeated buzzwords became another talking point in the debate surrounding the movie's promotional campaign. One reason those comparisons sparked so much debate is that Mad Max, Fury Road, and Furiosa are widely praised for their practical stunt work, fast-paced action, and distinctive visual style. Because of that, some viewers felt the comparison set expectations that Supergirl wasn't trying, or wasn't able, to meet. Critics of the film argued that the finished version felt weighed down by noticeable visual effects, editing choices, and signs of extensive post-production changes, making the comparison feel off to them.
Yeah, can I say one thing to you?
Yeah.
I've watched every clip and it looks amazing.
Oh, dude, you don't even know. I'm not gonna brag, but
Yeah, you could if you want to.
That disconnect also led some fans to question whether the early reactions truly reflected what general audiences would experience. Whether fair or not, those comparisons became another source of online criticism once the movie reached theaters. The marketing campaign faced another complaint as well. Many fans felt the trailers placed heavy emphasis on Milly Alcock in the classic Supergirl costume and Jason Momoa's debut as Lobo, making those moments seem like major parts of the movie. After seeing the finished film, however, some viewers said those elements had much less screen time than they expected. They noted that Kara spends much of the story wearing a different outfit, while Lobo appears in a relatively brief role. For those fans, the promotional material created expectations that the final movie didn't fully match, leading to accusations that the trailers oversold those highlights. Many fans argued that highlighting certain moments so heavily in the marketing created expectations the finished movie didn't fully deliver. When audiences discovered those scenes occupied a smaller portion of the film than they had anticipated, some felt disappointed and said the promotional campaign had oversold key selling points.
I just want to get my timeline down right. And we love Henry, of course. And
yes, he's the sweetest guy.
Sweet guy, love him. Thought he was coming back. We all thought he was coming back. Then soon thereafter, you get the gig as the head of DCU. At a certain point, you and Peter have to have that unfortunate phone call, I would imagine.
No, we sat down with him. We sat down with Henry.
So without revealing too much, I mean, what is that like to have to be the guy to tell Superman, we have to go a different way now?
As those reactions spread online, they may have further weakened enthusiasm and word of mouth. The story itself also became a major point of discussion. Some viewers felt the film devoted most of its attention to Kara's emotional pain, anger, and personal struggles, while not spending enough time developing the qualities they most associate with a classic superhero. From that perspective, the balance leaned more toward exploring her internal challenges than emphasizing themes like courage, responsibility, and self-sacrifice that many fans expected to see. Think about the classic examples of heroes like Spider-Man or more traditional versions of Superman. Those characters face enormous loss, heartbreaking setbacks, and incredible pressure. Yet what defines them is their determination to keep helping others, even when they're carrying the weight of their own pain. They keep moving forward because protecting people comes first. Some viewers feel Supergirl takes a different approach to its main character. In their opinion, the story spends more time exploring Kara's anger, grief, and emotional struggles than showing her rising above those challenges through acts of heroism. Whether audiences connect with that interpretation ultimately depends on what they expect from the character and the kind of superhero story they were hoping to see. For some viewers, that's where the biggest disconnect begins. Audiences usually don't mind watching a hero struggle or hit rock bottom because those moments can make a character feel more believable.
all of a sudden they were announcing Henry was back, and I'm like, what is going on? We know what the plan is. The plan was to come in and do Superman.
Yeah.
So we came in, and that was really unfortunate. I'm like, this poor guy. And so Peter and I, the right thing to do is to sit down with him and talk to him.
Yeah.
And we sat down, we talked to him. He was an absolute gentleman, a great guy about it. He said, the only thing I ask is that I'm able to reveal it myself as opposed to it coming from you guys. I'm like, that's
No, he's a class act. Always has been from the start. Yeah. Would it be too confusing to cast him in your DC universe going forward?
The challenge, according to many critics of the film, is that they wanted to see more growth and a stronger sense of purpose as the story unfolded. They felt Kara spent too much of the movie reacting to her anger and personal pain instead of fully embracing the inspiring qualities they associate with a superhero. Because of that, some fans said they found it harder to connect with the main character or cheer for her journey.
Why in the world do we even need to speculate who she would date, especially when the source material already has an answer? It's just more woke nonsense being shoehorned into established lore since a small population online refuses to support anything they're not overwhelmingly represented in. Not to mention, this isn't the first time woke actors revise source material from a traditional love story into more feminist nonsense.
What makes this film so beautiful is that it's not centered around a man, it's not centered around love at all.
And we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love.
What's been the most surprising thing is that people care what I have to say. We really care.
Don't care. There's nothing going on
We
up
love
here.
you. No, we have to
thank
know.
you.
One commenter summed up that frustration by writing, "Movies will continue to flop until they admit they keep screwing up." That opinion has been echoed by others online who believe Hollywood often blames outside factors instead of taking a hard look at creative and marketing decisions. Those critics also argued that parts of Milly Alcock's press tour became a distraction, shifting attention away from the movie itself and contributing to debates that divided sections of the audience before the film even reached theaters. It's surprising how often fans argue that studios let promotional interviews become a bigger story than the movies themselves. Many believe that if a marketing campaign creates unnecessary controversy, it can make it harder to win over the same audience that usually shows up on opening weekend. Whether that's the main reason for a film's performance is open to debate, but it's a criticism that comes up again and again. One fan put it this way: "James did good with Peacemaker. Superman was not that bad, and Lanterns looks promising. But I don't know what he's doing with Supergirl and that casting choice." That opinion reflects the view of some DC fans who have praised James Gunn's work on projects like Peacemaker and had positive reactions to Superman, while remaining unconvinced by the direction Supergirl took. Some also felt Milly Alcock's version of Kara Zor-El didn't match the interpretation they were hoping to see, preferring a more optimistic and traditionally heroic take on the character. Another reaction making the rounds online summed up the frustration from some disappointed fans. Long-term strategy. Why can't they just admit they messed up?
Film that there's so much power in vulnerability, and there's so much strength in humanity, and you don't have to save the world, you can just save your own, and saving yourself sometimes is the best thing that you can do for those around you.
Those critics argued that studios should be more willing to acknowledge when a movie doesn't connect with audiences instead of assuming outside factors are entirely to blame. For them, comparisons to recent underperforming superhero films only made the box office results stand out even more and fueled the ongoing debate about the future direction of the DC universe. This reaction echoes a criticism that's been spreading online. Some fans argue that when studio executives begin emphasizing a long-term strategy immediately after a disappointing release, it can come across as an attempt to shift the conversation away from the movie's opening weekend performance. Peter Safran's comments about the broader direction of the DC universe have been interpreted in different ways, with supporters viewing them as future planning and critics seeing them as damage control. Looking strictly at the box office, many commentators agree that opening behind films like The Marvels and Morbius would be a serious disappointment if those reported comparisons hold true. Those movies are often referenced in discussions about recent superhero box office struggles, so naturally the comparisons attracted attention. For critics of Supergirl, the early numbers became difficult to ignore, and they argue that strong messaging alone won't change how audiences view the film's opening performance. At the end of the day, the box office will tell the story. Whether Supergirl manages to recover or not, its opening has already sparked a huge debate about creative direction, marketing, and what superhero fans really want to see. Some people believe the movie deserved a better chance, while others see the early numbers as a clear sign that the studio misread its audience. The conversation is far from over, and the next few DC projects will likely show whether these lessons have been learned. What do you think? Was Supergirl treated unfairly, or do you think the studio made major mistakes that led to this result? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I want to hear your take. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with other DC fans. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.